This is your first Pixar direction movie. Tell me, what do you think you're bringing to the studio with this new story?
Yeah, I mean, I think I came in with a really strong desire to make a very funny movie. And I mean, honestly, to me, that was something that I remember loving about Pixar movies. You know, everyone says, like, what is a Pixar movie? Oh, it makes you cry, which is true. But I do think that for me, like, a Pixar movie is characters, and it's comedic characters that are really fun to watch and that you invest in. And so I came in with a very strong sense that I wanted to make a movie with some really fun characters. But I think there's something about my experience working in TV that, I made 140 episodes of my TV show, and you're inevitably doing a lot of different genres while you're making that many episodes. And because of that, you kind of have fun dabbling in a lot of different kind of tones, and kind of you're parodying different kind of movies. And I think when I came to Pixar, I kind of wanted to bring that in, like bring in different tones and genres and weirdness and surrealness, but also shocking things and action, and I think that I kind of brought hopefully a unique version of that into the studio.
And what do you think it's different from other projects in Pixar?
I think that it's simplifying the backgrounds is always challenging for us. Every show, I think, has to deal with the infinity of computer graphics, and so the challenge of simplifying nature, I think, brought that really seriously for us, because we knew we couldn't have bazillion leaves on all of the trees in the background. It would just become too busy. So I think that is something that I think other shows will also use, because it's something that we've always talked about since Up. When we were working on Up, we wanted to figure out how can we make the backgrounds be less busy as it goes back and recedes in space. And I feel like we did a really good job on this show.
You were talking about how you integrate these textures in this new particular way. And I'd be really happy if you can tell the audience about this new technology.
Yeah, so I think the thing that makes it a little bit different was, rather than adding just like a layer of atmosphere or sort of depth of field to kind of blur out the background, we wanted to preserve the sort of rich color detail that we had already in the lighting and the shading. So we used that color from the render, and we used that on like a texture of any type of brush stroke or any texture that we really wanted to use. And then we applied that little piece to a point in space that was generated by taking that background set into Houdini and generating a whole point cloud of every different little leaf and stick and blade of grass. If we would have just used that with the replaced textures on those point clouds, the backgrounds would have been really kind of impressionistic and maybe too far removed from our characters. But instead what we did is take that layer and then blend it back in with our render so that we could just soften. The way that when you're painting, you can kind of just soften things without blurring it, without diluting it. You can just take your brush, and that's kind of what we wanted to do, is just use that painterly method.
En el caso nuestro, que somos directores de arte de sets, nuestra responsabilidad era más que nada diseñar los sets. O sea, el Beaver, el Super Lodge, los Glades, la ciudad, la universidad, el laboratorio, bueno, todos los sets de la película. En el caso de Hoppers, específicamente, me tomé un break del departamento de sets técnico y me fui al departamento de arte. Y por eso estuve haciendo dirección de arte ahí. Y mi trabajo fue un poco más como que el diseño inicial de algo. Entonces yo era director de arte para Hoppers y después me tomé un sabático y la película la terminó mi colega. Entonces solo llegué a tocar esas cositas: el Super Lodge, la universidad, el laboratorio, un poco también de la ciudad, la previsualización de la ciudad. Pero sí, eso es lo que hice para Hoppers.
Sí, bueno, creo que aquí todos son muy eficientes y rápidos y cada uno tiene su forma de hacer las cosas. Para mí creo que yo trabajé mucho tiempo en publicidad en Colombia en donde la productora no era tan grande como esto, entonces todos teníamos que hacer un poco de todo, volvernos generalistas, como se llama. Entonces creo que con toda esa práctica me ha ayudado como a tener unos métodos de trabajo más eficientes y más rápidos, y apenas tengo una idea, presentarla y hasta que quede bien. Sí, lo interesante es que me tocó animar castores siendo castores realistas, y por otro lado a Mabel en un par de escenas como bípedo. Pues creo que animar un cuadrúpedo siempre es complicadísimo, porque cuando pues somos bípedos, entonces no simplemente es ir a mirar en el espejo cómo estamos haciendo los movimientos. A un cuadrúpedo te toca realmente mirar videos de referencia y ver todos los detalles que hay en las mecánicas del cuerpo. Y aquí entonces está la cola, que es plana y pesada. Cuando está nadando, las manos no están haciendo mucho, lo que está haciendo todo el trabajo son las patas de atrás. Tienen una cabeza grande, el cuerpo también tiene un volumen muy grande, entonces el peso y el movimiento tienen una forma particular en moverse. Entonces sí, nos tocó ver muchos videos de referencia y traer un experto que nos explicara cómo era la dinámica de un castor. Y sí, para poder aplicar eso y volverlo un poco más exagerado y que se vea más entretenido. Pero sí, fue varias semanas de estudiar eso.
How did you make them endearing without losing their animal authenticity?
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes down to the director Daniel's sensibilities. He likes like kind of small, compact, bean-shaped things. So I think one of the other key part was just making them kind of like chubby, giving them very like, you know, stubby hands, stubby fingers, big eyes, big mouth sort of thing.
How did you maintain design cohesion across such different animal kingdoms?
Yeah, I think one of the big things for our design process, specifically for the animals, was keeping it down to like one main shape. So the beavers are kind of like a bean, squirrels, raccoons, skunks even have that. Ellen Bear is like a big block. Tom Lizard is just a squiggle. And then Diane is like a torpedo, basically. So we wanted to just build very simply off those key shapes and keep them cohesive.
So Mabel is a young female protagonist leading an animal rebellion. How did you develop her character arc to resonate with Gen Z audiences?
We actually, do you remember one time we had a big lunch with a bunch of Gen Z activists, and we talked to them about, you know, how they felt about whatever issues they were fighting, and, you know, like what they actually did to try to make a difference. And we tried to tap into the emotions that they shared with us and their methods.
It was interesting because for them, they're already like, when we talked with them, we're like, you guys are all Mabels that have arced. Like
They've already arced.
Yeah, they've already arced.
Yeah.
And we had to start from the point A before, and then throughout the movie, now we know where to take her.
Yeah. So, you know, Mabel originally was this like really rambunctious, crazy, you know, like risk-taking protagonist. And when we met with these activists, they were all so like well-spoken, eloquent, like collaborative, and like, you know, inviting people. And so we were thinking like, oh, maybe we should have Mabel, you know, figure out how to go from someone who like thinks or acts before she thinks about it, and, you know, is able to like work with others. And, and
Pixar is the only major studio that steals under one roof. How does it translate to the making of the movie? And do you think it's going to be the standard, or is like the last one standing in that way?
I think we're more like the last one standing because it's expensive to pay everybody to live in the Bay Area and work together. But there's a lot of value in it. I mean, when you have people working in person, then you can experiment. You can, you know, throw out a lot of different ideas. You know, the relationship, the interaction is what makes it possible to do new and different things. Other studios are sending things away. And when you're working at a distance, which is something Daniel did with television, you just can't get as much. You know, you send it away, they do it, and you give it a couple notes. But for us, we are able to with every single thing, work very closely and refine and make it better.